OKC Thunder. NBA Wednesday continues, presented by State Farm. Chilly night in Oklahoma City. Of course, another big day of trades in the NBA. Trade deadline tomorrow, so less than 24 hours of high anxiety for players and teams. We got a good matchup tonight. The best record in the NBA, the Thunder, against a talented Suns team, trying to find that consistency. And also a matchup of two super talented guards, MVP contender Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for OKC, and the brand new all-time leading scorer of the Phoenix Suns, Devin Booker. And good evening, everyone, with Tim Legler, Mike Breen on hand, George Sedano with us as well. Everybody just wants to talk about trades, but there are still games to be played. And for both of these teams, this is an important game. Let's start with the Thunder. 39-9, best record in the league. This is a magical season. What in your eyes makes them so good?
They have set the bar very high. Every other team in this league right now is trying to figure out what Oklahoma City is doing on the defensive end of the floor. They are dominant. They've got great individual defenders, they've got great concepts, and they have got great commitment to each other on that end of the floor. If defense wins championships, they're laying the foundation. But none of that's going to matter if you don't have something on the other end that's special, and they do. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander again putting up monster numbers.
Meanwhile, Kevin Durant missing. He's got a sprained ankle, so Durant will not play in his former hometown of the OKC Thunder. But when you look at this team, when Durant plays, there's so much talent, yet they're only a game over 500. Why are they not winning more?
It has not clicked, Mike, the way we expected it all to when they came together. Part of it is lack of availability. Man, they just haven't had enough of a constant run together. But that's not the only reason. There's something about their offense that just has not been as fluid as you would expect. Mike Budenholzer thinks it's incrementally getting better. Let's see if they can take another step forward tonight, albeit without Kevin Durant.
Well, when Booker and Durant play together, they're 23-11. Pretty outstanding record, but that will not be the case tonight with Durant missing this game. As we look at tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by Icy Hot. So with Durant out, Grayson Allen's going to get his second start of the season. Royce O'Neal also getting a start tonight for Mike Budenholzer and the Suns. Meanwhile, for OKC, little change in the starting lineup. Cason Wallace is out, so Aaron Wiggins will get his 16th start, playing some excellent basketball. This is one of the great atmospheres in all of basketball, and it's also one of the toughest places to win. They are an incredible 22-3 here on their home floor. And Nick Richards, of course, the brand new member of the Phoenix Suns, acquired just a couple of weeks ago. We've got a whistle already. Shot clock did not start, so we'll attend to that. Now, is that a sign of bad things ahead?
I'm wondering myself, Mike, what that means. Maybe another trade went down and we're pausing to hear about it.
It has just been an incredible couple of days, and there's still a lot of talk about some other trades, but some big names are already headed elsewhere. More on that later. Meanwhile, Phoenix 10-15 on the road. As we mentioned, just a game over 500. Allen kicks it out. Booker up top to O'Neal. Good ball movement, but excellent defense. O'Neal, long three-pointer, got it. Royce O'Neal, a good 3-and-D player, and getting a start here tonight for the Phoenix Suns.
And very important, the ball changed sides of the floor the way it did on that possession against Oklahoma City.
Jalen Williams pulls up. That jump shot is good. One of the cool things in the last couple of weeks, a much-deserved first All-Star selection for Jalen Williams.
Yeah, very complete player, and he puts up those complimentary numbers for Shai every night. But man, can he defend.
How about the nice start from three-point range for Phoenix? That's one of the things they want to do. They want to shoot more threes. As Gilgeous-Alexander rattles that one in. Some good shooting to start. 4 straight buckets.
And speaking of shooting more threes, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander shooting at a higher volume than he ever has throughout his career. Really added that to his repertoire this season.
Booker off the mark. There's Wiggins. Wiggins has had some big games lately. Coming off the bench, Gilgeous-Alexander to Hartenstein. The floater is good. Well, they are the #1 defensive rated team in the NBA, the Thunder are, but they're also pretty darn good on the offensive end, the 6th rated. Tyus Jones misfires. All 4 field goal attempts for Phoenix from 3-point range. Gilgeous-Alexander, he loves that spot.
He loves to dominate that area of the floor between the elbows out to the three-point line. It's the best I've ever seen, really, at controlling that area with a live dribble because of his ability to stop quickly and shoot that pull-up.
Booker whips a pass, great ball movement. Jones goes up top to Allen. Allen off the bounce, goes at Hartenstein. Bank shot misses. Nick Richards right there on the follow. You like Richards' addition?
I do. He gives them athleticism on the glass. He's come in and been very productive, particularly as a rebounder, but he can make plays offensively, athletically, that some of their other centers can't.
Grabs the rebound. This is just his 10th game since they acquired him from Charlotte. Booker off the bounce, double team. Royce O'Neal tries again and hits again. So O'Neal off to an excellent start. A couple of three-pointers. Phoenix up 2.
Career high this year for Royce O'Neal. 9.2 points, over 40% from the three-point line.
Gilgeous-Alexander too strong. O'Neal grabs the rebound. Phoenix comes in with a 2-game losing streak, lost twice in Portland. As Booker gets inside, count it, and a foul. Good hard drive from Booker. And a chance for a three-point play.
One of the few times you will see a Phoenix Sun in this game beat somebody off the dribble without seeing another defender in his path at some point before he gets to the rim.
And maybe that's why Mark Daigneault has called it.
It's time for tonight's Big Deal Moment, brought to you by Walmart. And the big deal moment is that the Oklahoma City Thunder are on pace for a franchise record in victories this season. Obviously, a lot of that has to do with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, an MVP candidate again for the second season. But when I spoke to Mark Daigneault, it's about how Shai makes the game so much easier for his particular teammates, about how it's so easy to play with him on so many different levels. But it's not just that. It's the egoless portion of this team, how they understand the pecking order as a young group. You don't see that very often with a young team, where they understand Shai's going to eat first, then it's going to be Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren when he's healthy, and then the rest of the role players. Again, not something that's very commonplace in the NBA with a team as young as OKC, who's the youngest team in the league, Mike.
All right, George, thank you. Basket down the other end. Allen runs into it, kicks it out. Jones knocks down the three. You know, talking about Gilgeous-Alexander, he is everything you want in your face of the franchise player.
No doubt. And one of the great points that Mark Daigneault made was his ability to get his own and hunt as an aggressive scorer without negatively affecting the rhythm of everybody else. That is a very hard thing to find in your best player.
Wiggins on a follow there. Wiggins coming off a couple of nights ago, the best game of his life, a 41-point game, getting the start. Mark Daigneault likes to do that once in a while on that fifth starter. Hansa alternates it every once in a while. Booker, catch, shoot. Fight for the rebound. Hartenstein, and Gilgeous-Alexander picks it up. Gilgeous-Alexander in the paint draws the foul. And he will get to the free throw line, where he is an elite free throw shooter, just under 90%. As Jones picks up his first.
One of the things that makes him so special, you talk about the area of the floor that he operates in, and why is that so important? Because it's the most difficult area on the court to run extra traffic at a ball handler, because he can see everything on the court. Pocket passes are available, lobs, corner kickouts, when you're operating where he loves to, and that is why he's such a challenge for teams.
Well, this game could be built, the monsters of the mid-range between Gilgeous-Alexander, Booker. Obviously, Durant's not playing, but that's where he has been lethal throughout his career.
Jalen Williams as well. I put in that category as a great mid-range player.
Little zone defense here from the Thunder. Tyus Jones floaters up, that won't go. Richard tried to keep it alive. Gilgeous-Alexander comes away with it. Allen guarding him. Lou Dort, high arcing three. Boy, that one was launched up high. As Booker comes the other way, nice feet. Oh, knocked away. Just about to say nice feet, and Jalen Williams gets in the passing lane. Wiggins, and that's what makes the Thunder go.
No one converts turnovers the way the Thunder do. They just make you pay, and that's what Mike Budenholzer said before the game. Number one thing, top of the whiteboard, take care of the basketball. First turnover by the Suns.
There's another turnover. Booker threw it away. Gilgeous-Alexander drives, gets inside, missed the layup, but Jalen Williams right there on the follow. And back-to-back turnovers lead to easy buckets down the other end. Timeout, Phoenix. Thunder back up by 2. NBA Wednesday presented by State Farm. Meanwhile, on Saturday, matchup on ESPN 4 Eastern. The Lakers, Luka Doncic expected debut with LA. Host the Pacers game, also available on ESPN Plus and Disney Plus. Everybody's still talking about that trade. Anthony Davis has yet to play for Dallas. And now everybody talking about the Jimmy Butler trade. You know, Legs, a night like this, the night before the trading deadline, how much anxiety is in the locker room? How much discussion do the players talk about possibility of having their life thrown into upheaval?
Absolutely hangs in the air over the entire team. I was on a number of teams where guys were traded at the deadline. You knew it was coming, and it affects your team for that entire period leading up to it. And obviously there's a massive adjustment period after when a star player changes teams, but there's no doubt about it. Everybody's aware it could happen, and until it does and it's finalized, you're kind of hanging in the balance waiting to see what the new version is going to be.
Some great defense from OKC in that last one. Hartenstein couldn't get it control. Richards with the rebound. There's still rumors out there. There's a lot of rumor that Kevin Durant could be traded, Bradley Beal could be traded, and until that deadline comes and goes, you're always thinking about it. Richards floats it up and in. Well, Nick Richards, in the 9 games he's played so far, averaging 9 points, 10.5 boards. Dort to Hartenstein. He has perfected that lefty floater.
It's like he's releasing doves into the air the way he lets go of that thing, and they typically end up very peacefully at the bottom of the net as well.
For a big tough guy, it's such a soft touch that he has around the basket. Speaking of soft touches, Booker with his 2nd field goal. Gilgeous-Alexander again gets inside, gets off the shot, but Richards knocks him down. First foul on Richards. More free throws for SGA.
I can't emphasize enough how difficult this shot is. To shoot these shots at the front of the rim from that distance with that kind of arc, it just requires a level of precision and obviously a ton of repetition. I mean, that's where you get the muscle memory. It's just unique. You don't see other big guys in the league take that shot. And Isaiah Hartenstein, takes that, 5, 6, 8, 10 times some nights in a game.
And they knew he was going to be a huge piece to their championship hopes, but especially with Chet Holmgren, who's sitting next to him there, just playing 10 games after having that hip injury, and Holmgren getting closer and closer. But Hartenstein's impact is so much bigger than they even thought.
Has he ever delivered? I mean, he got so much hype for what he did in New York, and then entering the market, wondering where he was going to end up. He has more than lived up to every dollar he got from the OKC Thunder.
Ousmane Dieng coming into the game for OKC. And Bradley Beal just checking in. His first shot, perfect. And Phoenix back up by 1.
Really moving the ball. That's what you have to do. You're not going to beat this team consistently off the dribble. It has to move through the air. Phoenix has done a great job of that to this point.
And Dieng called for a palming. Clearly palmed that one. First turnover.
And you see here, you start in the middle with a ball screen. Ball goes left wing, right slot, right corner. Quickly, within a matter of 3 seconds, 4 different people touch the ball against a team that loads up on the paint the way Oklahoma City does.
You've even seen Daigneault throwing a little bit of zone here in this first quarter. Now Dort on Beal. Beal, nice move inside and squeaks it in. Phoenix back up by 3. Suns are shooting 10 of 15 from the field again against the best defense in the league. The other Jalen Williams, his first shot of the night misses. Mason Plumlee with the rebound. So Plumlee, Booker, Beal, and Booker goes right at Dieng. And they say before the upward motion, that looked like it was in the act of shooting, but they'll take it on a side out. Booker thinks so. Mike Budenholzer thinks so.
I think so. I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure what upward motion is sometimes. Contact, yeah, one more step, but I mean, he's getting into that shot. That is very, very close. And the way that they now legislate this particular call really could go either way. From our first angle, absolutely looked like he earned a couple of free throws.
Ryan Dunn has checked in for Phoenix. Alex Caruso And Isaiah Joe in for the Thunder. Beal looking for someone to throw to. Booker, fortunately, it was there for him. Allen the extra pass. Beal very aggressive off the bench. 3 for 3. 7 points in 3 minutes. There's Isaiah Joe. Joe whips a pass. Zhang nails that three-pointer. Again, next man up, so to speak. Monday against the Bucks. Now it was a blowout game, but he had season high 21 points, season high 8 rebounds, season high 5 assists. As Booker draws a foul and comes up hobbling a little bit.
Looks like he could have possibly banged knees on that or caught a knee to that area just above his knee. And that's where he's grabbing, but he did earn the 2 free throws, but he paid a price for it.
Already without Kevin Durant, a sprained ankle. Yeah, look, as he collided with Caruso on the initial move, you saw the grimace. Booker's 6 early points.
It's right there.
Yep.
When he first swings through and tries to get that step on him, you saw his right knee absorb the contact from Caruso sliding over.
Booker 1 for 2. Gilgeous-Alexander goes right at Dunn, the rookie. Thought he got fouled, banks it home. He's got 11 points already. Booker guarded by Caruso, the other new big-time acquisition in the offseason. Dunn rushed it, comes up short. Ball knocked out of bounds. Thunder ball.
And this is why he's so difficult. You know, these spaces and these gaps to a lot of people handling the ball don't look big enough to take that on. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander loves that, likes actually creating that contact. Didn't get the call on that one, but could have been a 3-point play.
Gilgeous-Alexander pulls back, jumper's good. And you look at his strength. I've been hearing this since I was a kid, talk about a guy who's wiry strong.
Functional strength, without a doubt. He has it. Another one there operating in that favorite spot, you know, 15 to 18 feet pull-up.
There's Caruso, such a good defensive player, harassing Booker. Plumlee, difficult pass, but finds its way to Jones. Jones just gets it off in time, but an air ball, so a 24-second violation. Great defensive sequence there for the Thunder.
Yeah, this is, I believe, the best mid-range game player we have in the league right now. He's herky-jerky, and then he always creates that little bit of separation by dipping that shoulder into your chest, and then he separates backwards, lean back, got good height to get that extension and pull-up shot.
Durant's a candidate for that as well. Williams off to Zhang. Zhang goes right at Booker, floats it up, shot's good. So keeps his aggressiveness from that blowout the other night. Right here tonight in their first quarter. Some important minutes. Boy, Caruso with some excellent defense there.
You know, you look at Devin Booker's numbers, career, obviously he's a great player, great scorer, but his career 3-point shooting numbers are only about 35%. With a guy with a stroke like that, I think that's part of the reason. He takes a lot of difficult threes.
Jalen Williams misses. Dunn grabs the rebound. Under 2 minutes to go here in the first. It's been a pretty good pace in this one thus far. Both teams shooting a high percentage. Plumlee to Beal. Booker off the bounce, stripped Caruso. Joe picks it up. Boy, Caruso already a huge impact. 5 turnovers. Zhang goes inside. Can't get it to go. Plumlee the rebound. Booker wanting to post up against Isaiah Joe. There's the double. Dunn, good clean look. Plumlee the weak side rebound. And Dunn cuts and scores.
Rarely see OKC get caught unaware on the weak side. The offensive rebound put them in chaos mode. Ryan Dunn, great job reading that with the cut from the opposite corner.
Gilgeous-Alexander misses a 3. Ball batted around. Booker did a good job tipping it away. And Plumlee will hand off Bradley Beal goes right at Isaiah Joe. Jump shot. It's good. Bradley Beal 4 for 4 off the bench.
You know, this is a guy that averaged 30-plus points a game.
In back-to-back seasons.
Exactly. So, and he went to the bench, accepted it. Mike Budenholzer said, been the ultimate pro. And he is coming in cooking. He's got the green light as soon as he touches it, and he's got it going so far this one.
Gilgeous-Alexander trying to draw a foul. Can't get it to go, but right there on the follow is Caruso. Caruso's dealt with a bunch of injuries in his first year here in OKC, but when healthy, he is an absolute pest defensively. There's so many different things to impact winning. Beal, corner three, won't go. Gilgeous-Alexander will slow it down. Phoenix has a foul to give. Shot clock turned off. Up top to Isaiah Joe. Long three-pointer at the buzzer. Nails the three. A 37-point first quarter for OKC as they shoot 54% from the field. Used every second on the clock. Gilgeous-Alexander with the pass. Suns hanging a cup though.
Mobile here with Royce O'Neal. The Suns, 6 points for you, down 4 though. What are the positives of the first quarter?
I think we're moving the ball well, getting some stops. We just gotta, on the defensive end, get more rebounds and, the loose balls.
Shea is so slithery out there, weaving through traffic. How do you try to limit his effectiveness?
Just make things tough for him, throw different looks at him. Try to take away, the spots that he want to get to, and then make every shot for him contested.
Royce, good luck. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys, back to you. Mike.
All right, George. 9 assists for Phoenix in that first quarter. They shot 59%. As Beal pulls up, can't get that to go. Kenrich Williams out there with Jalen Williams, Caruso, Hartenstein. Inside, Hartenstein floats it up. That won't go. Rebound, Grayson Allen. It's Allen, Beal, Plumlee, Dunn, and Jones. Grayson Allen goes inside, back up top. Seven on the 24. Good defense from Kenrich Williams. Shuts off Allen, forces a double team, and the help from Hartenstein. And that is OKC defense in a nutshell right there.
Tremendous job by Kenrich Williams cutting off that penetration by Grayson Allen, and it's just such a commitment across their roster to keep the ball in front of you. But if you do get beat, you're not going to get hung out to dry with the help.
Plumlee tried a fancy spin move, lost it, back-to-back turnovers. Joe to Caruso. Nice fake by Caruso, keeps that dribble alive. Throws it off the chest of Hartenstein. That's only the second Thunder turnover. Grayson Allen walks up into with 3. The third Williams here on the Thunder roster. Kenrich, another just a good solid veteran, doesn't play huge minutes. Dangerous pass, but Hartenstein able to get it. Jalen Williams too strong. Hartenstein keeps it alive. Goes all the way in the backcourt. Williams kicks it out. Caruso wide open. Plumlee battling. Joe comes out of the pack. Another offensive rebound. That was a key point as Caruso misses that from Mike Budenholzer before the game.
It's been a major problem for them. Typically when they have their smaller lineup on the floor with Kevin Durant out there as the 5. But even here with Plumlee giving up some offensive glass, it actually cost them a game the other night in Portland. Inability to secure a defensive rebound late in that game a couple of times.
Beal will go to the line. And just the offensive boards. Isaiah Joe grabbing that. We also talked, Mike Budenholzer, the first thing he said was turnovers. Now, 97.8% of the head coaches you talk to before a game will tell you not turn the ball over. That's the key to every single NBA game that's ever played. But against this team, it's doubly important.
I'm not even playing in the league anymore, and every morning when I brush my teeth, I look in the mirror and say, don't turn the ball over. That's how much you can't afford to do it. And any night, really, but particularly against teams that can convert it as quickly as Oklahoma City can. Your defense just cannot recover in time when you lose an opportunity to get something up on the glass and give yourself a chance. Oklahoma City's just too fast up the floor.
Crest or Colgate?
Typically Crest, but now the choices overwhelm me. There's too many. I stand there for 5 minutes in the aisle staring at the different boxes.
There really are a lot of different variables of Crest. Jones knocks it down. If you had toothpaste choices for tonight's game, you win. Joe goes inside. 3 minutes gone by here in the second. Isaiah Joe, good looking jumper there. He's got 5 points off the bench.
You talk about hot. He is averaging just under 15 in his last 10 games and 56% from the 3 in the last 5 games.
Yeah, Royce O'Neal barely touched it before he got into the shooting motion. And O'Neal off to a nice start. A couple of 3-pointers. And Phoenix back up by 2. Timeout OKC. Gear up for NBA All-Star. Shop NBAstore.com now for the best selection of NBA All-Star gear. Choose from t-shirts, hats, and more. NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience. Now you look at the Western Conference standings. OKC up top. But look at Phoenix. They're basically tied for 8th in the West. Only 2 games back in the loss column of 6th. They're also only percentage points ahead of the 11th spot. It's so crazy, and that's why these deals could make such a difference in terms of everybody so close. You add an extra player, and boy, it can make a difference in a team as Williams misses. Top of the backboard inbounds. Beal pulls up and knocks one down. By the way, again, we said this, or we talked about this earlier. When Kevin Durant and Devin Booker have been on the court together this year, they're 23-11. That's a 67% winning percentage, basically.
And I think 67% total since they've been paired together, which if you look at the rate that teams are winning this season, Mike, think about where that puts them in the standings. They could just keep them on the court together.
Jones, nice move inside. Tyus Jones, 8 points, couple of assists. Of course, starting now with Beal coming off the bench. Royce O'Neal guarding Jalen Williams. Williams in the paint. Soft touch. So Phoenix continues to shoot lights out. 61% from the field against a team with the #1 defense, #1 in opponent's field goal percentage, and a whole host of other categories. Shot clock at 5. Beal. Jones in the paint, turns, scores. Beal and Jones working nicely together.
And Phoenix to this point just not feeling the pressure that Oklahoma City typically makes you feel out on the perimeter. They're comfortable in their handle, in their ball movements, and certainly in their shooting.
Williams thought he got fouled. Suns come the other way. 5 minutes gone by here in the second. Phoenix trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. Pass inside to Nick Richards. They will reset. The 2 losses were both in Portland, and early in the season you think, oh, those are bad losses. Portland's playing great now. O'Neal lines it up. That's good. Royce O'Neal 4 for 4 from 3-point range, and the Suns have their largest lead of the first half, a 9-point advantage. They're 8 of 16 from 3, Legs.
Phoenix carving them up, getting into a comfort zone. 9-point lead. Well, this is the #1 defensive team in the league, and you wouldn't know it by the way the Suns are operating right now. Bradley Beal getting some work done with Devin Booker on the bench, first with his mid-range game and then drawing multiple defenders and making the right play. Layup or easy shot for Jones, and then a kick out opposite corner to Royce O'Neal.
Just to show you, opponents of the Thunder this year have shot 50% from the field. That's a beautiful move from Wiggins. Have shot 50% from the field 5 times in 48 games. 5 times, that's it. Right now, Phoenix shooting 63%. Obviously still a long ways to go as Jones turns it over. That's rare. Jones has been the leader in assist to turnover ratio 6 consecutive years. O'Neal getting the start tonight, and he has paid dividends. 12 points, 3 boards, 7-point Phoenix lead.
Fairly quiet start for Booker, but when you've got 3 other guys in double figures already, you can withstand that.
Jones inside to Richards. Richards has it knocked away by Lou Dort. Gilgeous-Alexander, the hesitation now gets inside. Perfect change of pace, and it's back to a 5-point game.
Yeah, you've got to have full commitment. You have to have minimum of 4 guys get out ahead of the basketball against OKC because of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's ability to get in small gaps and seams.
Jones misses a 3. Richards the offensive rebound. Beal, jump shot. It's good. Bradley Beal, 6 of 8 from the field. Now, this year, he's either the 4th or 5th highest paid player in the league and has been asked to come off the bench. And as you said, he's embraced it, but he's not happy. He'd rather start.
No doubt. That's a tough thing for any player that's had the success he has in this league to accept, but he's done a great job of it. His production has been almost identical to when he was a starter, and their winning percentage has been identical. They're basically a 500 team either way, and he averages 17 a game either way.
Mike Budenholzer says he's been incredibly professional through it all. Royce O'Neal's been incredibly accurate. He's now 5 for 5 from 3-point range. It's the only 5 shots he's taken. 15 points in 13 minutes. Crowd kind of quiet. This is one of the loudest crowds in the NBA. But the Suns with a magnificent offensive performance so far here in the first half. Nice pass inside. Booker. Shot won't go, but a foul. Wiggins commits the personal. O'Neal with an excellent pass.
Yeah, it's a difficult pass to make, too. Devin Booker does a nice job. Uses some leverage down there to seal and hold off. And you can see Wiggins just turned his head slightly. Perfect timing on that delivery from O'Neal to Devin Booker to set up these 2 free throws.
So Booker knocks down the first. Tonight's national TV schedule brought to you by ESPN Bet, official sports book of ESPN. TNT tomorrow. Mavericks, Celtics from Boston. Warriors and Lakers. New teams for 3 of those 4. ESPN Saturday. Lakers host the Pacers. Again, that might be Luka Doncic's Laker debut. And then ABC Saturday night, Celtics and the Knicks. And that's the interesting thing, especially for the Western coaches. You look like at Dallas and LA. All of a sudden, the way you've scouted the teams, the way they play has changed significantly.
Completely changed right now what the landscape could look like. And it's going to be fascinating to watch both of those teams. As Isaiah Joe again continues his heater over the last month. To watch each of those teams, LA and Dallas, and this new iteration of what they are going to look like acquiring these star players, everybody will be fascinated to watch it evolve.
O'Neal. Beal against Gilgeous-Alexander, gets inside. Good help defense. Wiggins now on O'Neal. Grayson Allen, catch, shoot. Comes up short. And the other Jalen Williams with the rebound. 9-point Phoenix lead. They've led by as many as 12. Gilgeous-Alexander back up top. Phoenix competing defensively. Williams left open, does not want to shoot that 2-pointer. Wiggins going to have to a contested 3, gets it off. Can't get it to go, but Jalen Williams tips it. Another offensive rebound for the Thunder.
Killer to have a great defensive possession collectively and allow a long rebound to give a team this good another shot at it.
And Gilgeous-Alexander lost it. That's 9 offensive rebounds. And Mark Daigneault is going to challenge that out-of-bounds call. Now that could result in turning on the out-of-bounds or perhaps a foul. Let's take a look. He thought he got hit. That's their hope. O'Neal appears to hit Gilgeous-Alexander on that left arm. Gilgeous-Alexander did touch it last. And there's the swipe. Hard to tell on that particular angle. But clearly off the fingertips, the key is, will they call that a foul? So the OKC Thunder challenging it.
They will get 2 free throws out of this, I believe.
And here's Pat Frere.
On review, O'Neal hits the arm of Alexander after he started his shooting motion. Therefore, this is approximate foul. This is going to be a successful challenge. Play will resume with 2 free throws for OKC. OKC retains the right to challenge.
And again, that was from the playoffs a couple of years ago on a key out-of-bounds play at the end of a playoff game where they got the out-of-bounds right, but the only reason that the player lost that out-of-bounds is because it got hacked. That was in Dallas. And I think that's a good adjustment to that rule.
Much needed rule change, because what was happening, we'd all see a replay and it would be a situation, are you going to believe me or your lying eyes a lot of times? And now they've gotten that corrected for this exact reason. What you just saw, that's why they want to make sure this kind of thing happens. It used to be you could just look at who hit it last, but now you can actually get in there and see if there was contact that led to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander losing control of the ball in the first place.
He's got 16 points, leading the NBA in scoring, 32.5 points per game. That would be the most ever for franchise if he held that. Kevin Durant once averaged 32 a game when he played here. Russell Westbrook averaged 31.6 per game. No Durant tonight, sprained ankle. Beal to Allen, corner 3, that's good. They're now 10 of 20 from 3.
Yeah, this is really Bradley Beal right now, setting the table and showing you how talented he is as an offensive player, even against this great defense, repeatedly breaking them down.
Gilgeous-Alexander, baseline jumper, 19 for SGA. Beal, meanwhile, off the bench, 15 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. Grayson Allen, that one off the mark. Isaiah Joe catches ahead to Wiggins. Beal, good defense initial. Trying to fight over a screen. Gilgeous-Alexander gets in the paint, leans in, and contact that time. He just found the contact. That was nice poised play for Gilgeous-Alexander. 2 free throws.
Yeah, this is tough because of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's talent, but I don't particularly like drop coverage against him, because when he comes off the ball screen and that center is 5-6 feet back, you're basically now giving him space in the exact area of the floor that he wants to shoot the ball.
Plumlee comes up. There's the lob for, I mean, it's lesser of 2 evils.
And I'm making something complicated sound simple, but I just think when Shai Gilgeous-Alexander comes off and he sees that amount of space between where he is and that backline defender, his mind starts working in ways that he can get a guy off balance and get into that pull-up.
21-point first half for Gilgeous-Alexander, but it's the Suns with a 6-point lead. Minute and a half to go. And a foul on Gilgeous-Alexander. That's his first. So first foul in the last 2 minutes, side out. Boy, Mike Budenholzer has to be thrilled with the offensive execution here in this first half. Phoenix just looks sensational, and they're doing it without Kevin Durant. Boy, Plumlee upset. He felt that Hartenstein pushed him, and he certainly looked that way.
Definitely contact here as Plumlee runs this ball down. Hartenstein gets up until you see the left hand on the hip, and you know Plumlee's already sort of up on his toes, so he's not in a great balanced position. It doesn't take much to knock someone into the backcourt, which is exactly what Hartenstein did.
Lou Dort comes up short. Hartenstein had it knocked out of his hands by Plumlee. Dort guarding Booker. Booker gets inside. Beautiful move from Devin Booker. And he's in double figures with 10. The lead back up to 8.
And again, we see the one side of the floor with somebody getting beat off the dribble and all the way to the rim before there's a rotation along the baseline. Very rare for Oklahoma City.
SGA pulls up 23 here in the first half. Now 7 of 14 from the field. All 8 of his free throws have been good. Booker. And O'Neal took his eye off it.
Yeah, and actually, I think Plumlee cut at exactly the time that Booker was throwing the ball to O'Neal, and I think it just distracted O'Neal for just a split second. He couldn't quite see the basketball until it was too late.
If you said the Suns were going to have 11 turnovers, as Gilgeous-Alexander nails another three. 26 first half points, and the lead is cut to 3. But still, if you said Phoenix had 11 turnovers and they were going to be ahead, crowd's been kind of quiet, and that's because of the Phoenix Suns' offensive execution. About a 5-second different shot clock, game clock, and a foul on Isaiah Joe, and that's going to put Booker on the line. They're in the penalty. Crowd doesn't like the call.
Yeah, and Shea's done a better job of this year, where he senses maybe what it's going to take out of him as a scorer on nights when you see a team being able to execute against them. And right now he is absolutely cooking. Nobody is going to be happier to see halftime than Mike Budenholzer right now, because it will interrupt this rhythm that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is in.
Meanwhile, the Suns have been rhythm the entire first half. They've got our halftime presented by Hyundai coming up. And, of course, the big story tonight, Jimmy Butler to the Warriors, Malika, Shanae, Windy. He now gets Windy as opposed. He's known as Windy now. That's a universal nickname. And, of course, Udonis Haslem. Great to hear his contributions. What a great role player he was for so many years for the Miami Heat, NBA champion. Gilgeous-Alexander goes right at Plumlee, gets inside, layup is good. He's unstoppable right now. 28 points. Final seconds, no fouls to give. O'Neal gets it off in time, and that will end the first half. Phoenix plays a terrific first 2 quarters, 60% from the field, 10 3-pointers, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with 28 first half points. And we go to halftime, 2-point game. Here in Oklahoma City, 63-61. Suns up 2. .28 points as we welcome you back. NBA Wednesday presented by State Farm. But it's Phoenix with a 2-point lead, 63-61. Our first half stats brought to you by Ford. Gilgeous-Alexander was just unstoppable. 28 points, got to the free throw line 8 times. But Bradley Beal off the bench with no Kevin Durant and Devin Booker initially struggling. Beal was sensational. The entire Phoenix Suns team was sensational, offsetting what was just a spectacular first half for SGA.
They did a reasonable job containing SGA at the start of the game. It was 4 for 11 at the start, but then he became very unreasonable towards the Suns in getting to his areas, and I've talked about it a lot. This is where he wants to operate. Very unique. Most ISO players in this league prefer the wings or off the block on either side, but this is where Shai cooks, and he got going late. Made his last 5 field goals, first to 3, then the patented mid-range 15-footer, and then that quick acceleration down the lane to the rim before the Suns can react.
So for Phoenix, and you just look at that, those numbers once again, he's, you know, one of the key contenders for MVP. But for Phoenix in that first half, what do they do offensively that teams have not been able to do this on a regular basis to this OKC defense?
They stayed away from baseline drives. Baseline drives against OKC are where possessions go to die, and they haven't done a lot of that. They've kept the ball on the wings and above, and that's where you can operate much better against OKC with ball movement.
And right away, they've tied the game. Largest lead for the Suns was 12. And again, they shot so well, over 60% from the field in that first half. Booker guarded by Dort. Booker turns into a double team, gets it down to Richards. Richard right back out. And we send it over, turnover, send it over to George Sedano.
Mike, Tim, you nailed it. When I spoke to Mark Dagnall, the head coach of OKC, he talked about their defense, defending the perimeter and the three-point shot. He gave the Suns a ton of credit for the way they were moving the ball, and said specifically, though, it starts with their point of attack defense, that he feels that needs to be shored up.
Thank you, George. Meanwhile, the lead is already gone. Dort with the save. Well, they've had this year, Gilgeous-Alexander can't hit that. And Artenstein call for a loose ball foul. They've trailed, the Thunder have trailed by double figures in 16 of their 48 games so far this year. So now 17 out of 49. In those games, they're 10-4, which is the best record in the NBA in overcoming double-figure deficits. But that's
every
no
metric
surprise.
you could think of, Mike, they're going to be great at it. It's just that kind of year for them, and their defense gets most of the credit, but they're a very efficient team offensively as well.
Booker got some space, but just couldn't get the shot to go down. Williams searching out to Dort. Dort, three-pointer's good, and then a quick start here to this third period, and just like that, the Thunder up by 5. This is their largest lead. Jones looking. Another turnover. Here comes Wiggins. Jones tries to get in his way. Wiggins throws it inside. Gilgeous-Alexander using that left hand up and in. And the Suns need a timeout. 9 straight points in the first 2 minutes of the third. And the deficit has suddenly turned into a 7-point lead.
And we talked about turning up the pressure on the perimeter, and that's exactly what OKC has done here, coming out of the locker room and turning that defense into offense. Suns, time to regroup.
ESPN will have a 4-hour NBA Today trade deadline special. All of the analysts, insiders break down all the movement. Zach LaVine, De'Aaron Fox, Doncic, Anthony Davis, Jimmy Butler, Chris Middleton, Kyle Kuzma, Jonas Valanciunas. The hits just keep on coming. Not just a busy trade deadline so far, but the big names that could really make a difference for teams come playoff time. Booker fights over a screen. Dort right on him. O'Neal, nice fake. Back to Booker. Jump shot. Can't get it to fall. Richards battling. But the Thunder come away. What a dominant start here in the first 2.5 minutes for OKC.
7 possessions now for the Suns out of the locker room without a point, including 3 turnovers.
Gilgeous-Alexander tied up. And a 3-second violation. This is what happens to opponents all the time. You think you're hanging tough. You're right with them. You're right with them. And all of a sudden, a 4-minute span, and you're in big trouble.
And it's just obvious visually how much faster Oklahoma City is moving defensively. The desperation has picked up. You're seeing white jerseys flooding to the ball. A lot of activity with their hands. It's just a different level right now that they've taken it to.
Booker is frustrated. That's the second time he thought he was in the act of shooting on a foul. Instead, they call it prior to the upward motion. Mike Budenholzer looking up at the big screen. So a side out. The foul against Dort is first. Jones can't get it to fall. The three-point shooting was huge difference in that first half. Phoenix good. Oklahoma City struggled, but they're not struggling now on any part of the court. And the lead is ballooned to 9. 11 straight points. Phoenix has yet to score here in the third.
You know, that one was a quick hitter, so it was tough to really run an extra guy at Shea. But at some point, they're going to have to consider just making sure they get a second body to force him to give the basketball up, because he is just absolutely owning the middle of the floor and getting wherever he wants right now, controlling the game.
He's got 32 of their 72 points. Williams. Hesitation, now gets inside, turns, shoots, and scores. The onslaught continues, an 11-point lead now. Williams right up into Booker. First-time All-Star. There's just not a lot of room to move right now offensively for Phoenix. Grayson Allen off the bounce. Shot blocked by Gilgeous-Alexander. He averages a block per game to go with his 2 steals per game in addition to all the scoring.
Yeah, he does it every way imaginable. He's got great length, and this is something he's become very adept at, is tracking ball handlers from behind, using his length, his timing to disrupt shots. You know, Mike, you see these little nuggets about guys all the time in the research that we get. I love this one. Second player in the history of the game to average 30 on 50% shooting with 5 boards, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block. The other guy's named Michael Jordan, did it twice, and both of those were MVP seasons.
Lovely company he keeps. Gilgeous-Alexander can't get that one to go. Rebound Wiggins, Jalen Williams in and out. And Allen the rebound. It's now over 4 minutes. Phoenix is yet to score here in the third. Booker gets whacked. And he'll shoot 2 free throws. Chance for Phoenix to finally get on the board here in the third.
And you see Mike Budenholzer going to Bradley Beal earlier than he normally would have. He walked up to the table with 8.5 minutes to go in the third. He was their best player in the first half. He was able to do things against OKC's defense. And he didn't start him, which he hasn't been. But in 3.5 minutes, you go from a 2-point lead to down 13 while he's on the bench. So Budenholzer got him in there pretty quickly.
Booker trying another and gets it to go. Booker became the Suns' all-time leading scorer on Monday, passing the late great Walter Davis. And Booker's, saying it means so much to him in his entire career with the Phoenix Suns. An extraordinary accomplishment in such a short amount of time. Gilgeous-Alexander banks it in, and the foul. But they're going to wave off the bucket. Nope, side out. I wonder, because this happens sometimes. We've seen a bunch of these tonight. Is that like something the officials have talked about recently, and that they do a better job of whether or not it's in the act of shooting?
Yeah, they are. This one to me is a little bit more obvious because the initial contact happened, the whole dribble before Shai Gilgeous-Alexander got into his shooting motion. I thought the 2 on Booker were more prone to getting free throws.
It doesn't matter. He hits the ball back and he knocks down another. 34 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and a block shot. Bradley Beal, the floater. Everything Beal did turned to gold for Phoenix. Allen, good job deflecting, gets it back from Richards. Grayson Allen can't hit the 3. Richards pushed off. A loose ball foul on Richards for his second.
Yeah, it's just he puts it on auto dial. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, when he gets rolling, and he did, the way he closed the half, came out, tried to stay hot by staying aggressive and making sure this rhythm continues. And again, occupying and dominating that area 12 to 18 feet.
Booker trying to put some pressure on Wiggins. Runs right into Gilgeous-Alexander. Against Jones, back out Wiggins, lines up, 3-pointer, that's good. Everything going down right now for the Thunder.
Pick your poison, and that time they did run an extra body at Shai, and he got the ball to the shooter, and Wiggins made Phoenix pay.
Oh, Gilgeous-Alexander goes up and throws it down. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander putting on a show. And the lead now, 81 to 65. He's got 36 points in 24 minutes.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander showing you the whole package. OKC on a 20-2 run out of the locker room.
Phoenix bringing the ball up. Look at the domination here in this third quarter. 20-2. Suns have no field goals, 5 turnovers. Bradley Beal gets up and under and finally get a field goal, and it took them almost 6 minutes with this swarming, smothering OKC defense. To say they turned it up a notch, Legs, is an understatement.
Yeah, they took this challenge personally. You know they were challenged by Mark Daigneault at halftime to represent what they've been all year defensively. You're seeing it right here.
Nice pass, Hartenstein. Wiggins a little fake. And the lead back up to 16. There's Bradley Beal. Had that hot first half. Bank shot won't go, but he got hit. So 5.5 remaining in the third. Free throws from him. And let's hear from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander wearing a mic for us tonight.
Yo, let's get stops and let's play confident on offense. Come on. Play confident on offense. Come on. Move. Keep shooting, baby. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Dunk everything. Who cares? The more I miss, the more I shoot. I get frustrated. I get competitive with myself. Woo!
A virtuoso performance. What I love about that, here he's having this spectacular game, and Lou Dort, who's 1 for 4 from 3, he's telling Lou Dort, keep shooting.
And that's what Mark Daigneault was referring to, talking about his improved leadership. more vocal with the guys, senses the responsibility of greatness and leadership. It's on full display here. And once again, Oklahoma City getting that ball to the middle of the floor and just then attacking from a cutter along the baseline. Phoenix having a very difficult time right now containing this action.
There's so much to love about this special talent, the leadership, the fact that he's as hard a worker, and he always talks about what he can do better, but the way he puts his teammates first. He's a superstar, and he carries himself like one of the guys here.
I can't say enough what it means to a team to run out of the tunnel every night knowing that they've got a guy who a lot of nights is going to be the best player on the floor. It just empowers the entire roster.
The consistency and the efficiency, night in and night out. Beal goes back door. Oh, shot blocked by Dort. Lou Dort with a spectacular defensive play. Gilgeous-Alexander drives, layup, count it. The SGA avalanche continues. Beal gets away, goes up inside, and fouled by Dort. And free throws for Beal.
Serious end-to-end there. Bradley Beal with a beautiful back cut on this first play. Lou Dort comes across the lane to meet him at the rim. Great job on the back cut once you get the overplay, and there's Dort. That's all ball. Bradley Beal wanted a call. I think that's a clean block. And then this is what we always talk about with this team. Anything they clean up off the glass, the ball's going to be outletted, and it's going to be basically in the scoring area within a matter of a dribble or two.
Beal 19 points in 21 minutes off the bench, but his team now down 18. Upcoming national TV schedule, doubleheader tomorrow on TNT. Celtics host the Mavericks. Warriors and the Lakers from LA. ESPN Saturday, Pacers and Lakers. Luka Doncic, that's right now. They hope that's going to be his Laker debut. And then ABC Saturday night in New York. Knicks hosting the Celtics. A lot of big games, and so games that take on a complete different feeling about them with all these new players. Anthony Davis expected to play shortly for the Dallas Mavericks. 16-point game. Gilgeous-Alexander gets inside, gets the shot off, and draws a foul. He's already 8 for 8 from the line. Beal picks up his second personal. You know, when you talk to Gilgeous-Alexander, when he was a freshman in high school, he was only 5'5". And look at these numbers in terms of highest percentage of free throws made, only Harden and Jordan. But he talks about, he said he grew up, he was clumsy, he was all arms. And he's never been the fastest player. He doesn't have lightning speed. He's just so crafty, the change of pace, the change of direction. And hearing the MVP chants, he was a finalist last year. He is a leading candidate, to say the least, this year. Long way to go. And then, of course, Jokic has been equally superb. But this could be the year for, say, Gilgeous-Alexander. Booker, nice move, gets inside. Tripped up. Thunder wanted to travel, but Booker looked like he got tripped. And he'll take free throws as SGA picks up his third.
Devin Booker has to be laughing to himself because he had 2 plays earlier when he basically is driving into a pull-up shot with contact, doesn't get a call, and in this one he's falling to the ground. Definitely contact there and a reach, but he just throws this ball toward the ceiling, and this one earns him 2 free throws.
Right. Well, heads up play that time. Well, Booker now with 14. He's been to the line 10 times. Same as Gilgeous-Alexander.
I love the point, the graphic we put up about Shea last time he was at the line. They're 29th in the league, Oklahoma City, in free throw attempts. 29th. And yet you've got this guy that's the best in the league at it. So he's not getting a whole lot of help from the line. Speaks again volumes to how efficient this team is overall.
But they're #1 in percentage because he shoots 90%. Gets inside, creates some space. Lou Dort, who he told him to keep shooting. The rebound goes to Royce O'Neal. Booker spins against Wiggins. Suns trying to cut into this lead now here after this disastrous start to the third. Beal off the bounce, poked away by Dort. Here's Jalen Williams. Wiggins layup, missed it, but a foul. As O'Neal picks up his second, and Wiggins to shoot 2.
One thing about OKC, it's you can have guys on your team that do a great job laterally containing the ball. That's one thing. They have a unique element to their defense where they can slide laterally while being active with their hands. And they've got 4 or 5 guys that can do it. So even when you do get semi-beat, their activity level with their hands can still reach in and affect the play and force a turnover. You saw it right there by Lou Dort. It looked like Bradley Beal had a lane to the rim, and Lou Dort doesn't give up, pokes it from behind, and it still ends up with 2 free throws going the other way.
They not only have great team defense, but the individual defenders. And Dort, and I'll say this every game that I broadcast of Dort. Dort deserves to be NBA All-Defense. He has that kind of impact on this team every night. Always guards the toughest opponent. And he plays a physical style with quickness.
Shoulders are always squared up to the ball handler, so he absorbs a lot of that contact with his chest. He's strong, and he has a nice low base, and he makes sure that the ball stays between his shoulders. Very difficult to get around him. If you do, he just has a relentlessness where he doesn't give up on the play.
Lead up to 18. Beal gets in the paint, comes up short, but a foul. It's going to go against Caruso. That's 2 on Alex Caruso. Speaking of all-NBA defense, made the second team last year with the Chicago Bulls.
It's a smart play by Bradley Beal. Right here, he's got Caruso on his back, and he knows if you just stop and go vertical, it's going to be very difficult for Caruso to stop in time. Doesn't take much contact to get that call, but it was the right one.
Beal now at 22. Ryan Dunn will come in. Grayson Allen, who started tonight. Again, no Kevin Durant. Ankle sprain from the other night against Portland. Durant, of course, his first 9 years here at OKC. Won an MVP here. Took him to the finals. Dort goes inside. Ball poked away. Caruso right there. Good defense from Phoenix. Caruso fakes the pass. Can't hit the 3. Dort the rebound. Gilgeous-Alexander. Pull-up jump shot. Got it. 42 points in 27 minutes.
And he's so tough because most players in this league prefer one direction or the other for the pull-up. Doesn't matter to Shea.
Booker, good move, but couldn't finish. Here comes Dort. Dort the spin move. Back up top. Jalen Williams. Nobody near him. And Plumlee tracks it down. As we're under 3 minutes remaining here in the third. Dunn left open. Daring the rookie to shoot. Williams with a rebound.
That's going to be the challenge for Dunn. He's a great defender. Has the potential to be one of those all-league caliber type defenders. He's got to be a better and more consistent three-point shooter.
Williams left wide open again. Comes up short. Gets the rebound. He's not going to do it again. Caruso, though, will. Can't hit that. Devin Booker looking for Plumlee. Royce O'Neal was hot in the first half. Can't get it going. He was 5 for 5 from three-point range in the first half. 0 for 3 here in the second. As we're under the 2-minute mark. Beautiful feed. Williams can't get it. Plumlee the rebound, but a foul. And Jalen Williams will shoot. Slow to get up. It seems to be okay.
And now they are extending Phoenix a little bit, certainly more than they were in the first half. On Shea, on ball screens or penetration, they're meeting him with a second defender out above the top of the key. But he is capable of beating you with the pass, and that was a beautiful pocket pass to Williams diving to the rim.
Mike Budenholzer will challenge that last call. Suns down 18 when they led by 2 at halftime. What a third quarter for OKC. There on Bradley Beal. It doesn't look like he hits him in the head there, Tim.
He doesn't. There's a little bit of contact with Bradley Beal's chest on his right shoulder. And this angle doesn't show it as well as the last one. That last angle showed it better. There's a little contact from Beal's chest to his right shoulder right there. He caught him just a little bit. I don't think he touched him on his head, and I don't think he kicked him either. This is the one I was talking about right there. His hip really, actually more so. Then his shoulder got into Bradley Beal's body a little bit, so there was some contact.
If he goes straight up, he's fine. The officials like to talk about if he goes from A to B, then that would constitute a foul. Well, they've made a decision. Our officials tonight: Pat Frere, the crew chief, Eric Dahlin, and Suyash Mehta. Mehta, number 82, with his back to us. Dahlin on the left, Frere on the right. An 18-point lead for the Thunder. They trailed by 12 in the first half. Here's Frere.
Upon review, Beal drifts slightly forward and makes hip-to-hip contact, so this is going to stand as a defensive foul. Challenge is unsuccessful. Play will resume with 2 free throws for Williams.
There's that hip you spoke of.
Yeah.
Well spotted.
Hip-to-hip contact. And you see it right there.
Yeah.
And Bradley Beal was coming forward at the time. He wasn't in a straight vertical position. And so, free throw stand.
So the other Jalen Williams able to connect on the first. It's his first points. He has 6 rebounds. Missed early on in the season, first 27 games with a hamstring. But he's a big part of the team. So many of their role players, on any given night, the impact that they can have coming off the bench or an occasional start. It is such a deep team. And right now they've got their largest lead, a 20-point advantage. Foul called on Dort.
Anticipated this well, knowing that this ball was going to be thrown to the outside hand. You know, he just releases, gets to that side of his body. He had his hand around his waist right there. He pulls his left arm back at the same time he's reaching around. You know, if that's a defensive back in football, right? That's the one they always catch you on.
Yeah, that's
when
right.
you turn the body a little bit before you make the play on the ball with your opposite hand.
He's not buying the interpretation. It's his 3rd foul. And Booker now with 16 points. The Thunder this year, and we still have a quarter to go, but the Thunder this year, of their 39 victories, 31 of them by double figures. They don't just win, they dominate. Gilgeous-Alexander draws the foul before the upward motion. And Ryan Dunn picks up the personal. Dunn's first.
To your point, this is how dominant they've been defensively. We talk about defensive rating all the time. And you start to look at the rankings of teams, and these numbers are tight, right? These teams are bunched together. Oklahoma City's margin over the number 2 defensive rated team, that gap is the same gap that exists between team 2 and team 11. That's how dominant Oklahoma City has been over the rest of the field.
Their point differential is 12.6 coming into tonight. That's on pace to be the largest in NBA history. Again, long way to go. First miss from the line. Ball last touched by Plumlee. So we'll get another possession. Gilgeous-Alexander has 43. Now, he scored 50 points or more twice this season. The season high is 54.
Question of whether he gets 50 in this game is a direct correlation to any type of run the Suns might have.
Right.
To keep him on the floor.
Here's Booker racing up the floor. He thought he got fouled again. Lou Dort goes strong and finishes. Just an overwhelming performance here in this 3rd quarter for OKC. Now up by 21 as we approach a minute remaining. Booker stops and fouled. Caruso picks up the personal. Phoenix has just 14 points.
Just great positionally, Oklahoma City. I mean, Devin Booker would like to get a call because there's contact, but the defender squared him up perfectly. And that's what Oklahoma City does across the board.
Join ESPN and the NBA family to support all those affected by the California wildfires in 2025. Donate at redcross.org/ESPN to help the Red Cross respond and help people recover. It will be a long, long recovery. Phoenix shot 60% in the first half. They're 1 for 12 here in the third quarter. Caruso just adds to the domination. 101-79. Final minute here in the third. Ryan Dunn with 7 on the shot clock. Dunn off the bounce. Inside Plumlee. Blocked by Caruso. Last touch by Dunn. Another fantastic defensive play.
And this is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander initially, you know, MVP candidate, up 22, 43-point night, out there pressuring Dunn the way that he was, forcing him into the traffic, and then the backside help with the block.
Gilgeous-Alexander with a three-pointer, 46 points. Another masterpiece from SGA tonight, 104-79. Shot clock and game clock about 4.5 seconds difference. And Plumlee, a hard screen on Dort, which just shakes his head. And the Suns can hold it for the final shot.
Yeah, this is just his timing on this is so quick off the ground. Dunn is right there in his space. It's almost hand-on-hand contest, but it just doesn't affect Shai Gilgeous-Alexander because he knows exactly when he wants to release that basketball.
One more possession here in the third. Gilgeous-Alexander feeling it. Drives inside, pulls up. Shot won't go. A rare miss here in the third quarter. An absolute bludgeoning here in this third period. OKC outscores Phoenix 43-16.
Wherever your brain at, just do it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Trust your instincts. Just don't shoot it off the backboard. Trust your instincts. Next one good. Next one good. Yeah, next one good. How many threes you missed? Like 6. Me too. I just made a couple, that's all. If you shoot 8, some of them will go in.
I love that thinking.
That's always been my philosophy, Mike. I know that when I played. Eventually they're going to go.
Beal tripped up. He outscored the entire Suns team in that third quarter. He had 18 in the third. The Suns had 16. But he also got it done defensively as the entire team, just that smothering defense. There are some times when you watch the Thunder defense like that third quarter, you almost feel they have 6 guys on the floor.
You really do. It's almost like you get empathy for the offense. There's just nothing to be had. The biggest difference from what you saw in the start of this game to the third quarter, white jerseys further out on the floor, extending out, pushing Phoenix out on the floor offensively.
Yeah, Mark Daigneault's going to challenge that call. Beal was expected to go to the free throw line. We'll see how that works out as we open up the fourth quarter here in OKC.
The NBA on ESPN is presented all season long by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
How are you? Scott Van Pelt here in the nation's capital. We're getting set for SportsCenter. We'll have the details on the Jimmy Butler move to the Warriors. What's that mean for the future of Kevin Durant with Phoenix? Shams Charania, Brian Windhorst with thoughts on that. Busy and entertaining night in the NBA. All those highlights on the way. Mahomes and Hurts down there in New Orleans ahead of the Super Bowl coming up Sunday. Mike Timmis, the SGA show. But what else is new? It's been that way all year long, hasn't it?
Oh, it certainly has.
And he's special again. Tonight, they left him in the game with a 25-point lead to start the quarter. And maybe a couple of buckets. They're thinking, get him his 5-0 and get him out, because I think he was on the floor for the entire third.
We have watched this year the emergence of a special superstar. He has been spectacular. We get to watch SGA now. We'll watch SVP later.
Both special, equally great in their own right.
Hartenstein. Gilgeous-Alexander still out there. Goes inside, shot blocked. Nick Richards, nope, they call a foul. And Hartenstein says he's okay. Grabbed his knee, and you heard like a little groan, but then he quickly looked over to the bench and said, I'm okay.
Everybody's heart skip a beat right there with what they've dealt with. Hartenstein out at the beginning of the year, and then he comes back. Chet goes out, and that's scary right there. Awkward fall, grabs his knee. Fortunately, he's okay.
He missed the first 15 games, Hartenstein, with that left hand injury, then missed 5 more with the soleus injury, the back of the lower leg. This is his 5th game back after missing 5. Just again, the number that most shows what he does. In the first 28 games he's played with the Thunder's record is 25-3. Look at this. Gets the rebound, draws another foul on Richards. Just relentless.
Yeah, he really captured everybody's attention with what he did for the Knicks last year, particularly what he did in the postseason. And he has come here and really delivered upon that potential. And this is just a breakdown when you allow the shooter to walk in, grab his own rebound, and earn another trip back to the line. Phoenix mentally right there, just not with it.
It'll be interesting to see how Mark Daigneault, when Chet Holmgren returns, how he plays both of them, how often they'll play together. I mean, Holmgren in the 10 games he played was unbelievable before he got hurt after last year's terrific rookie season. They say he is absolutely dying to play. Just all he wants to do is play basketball. Opening minute here in the 4th. And what was a close, fun game in the first half has turned into a rout. O'Neal finds his shooting touch again. 18 points starting tonight. Had a big first half. Jalen Williams can't get it to go. And O'Neal fouled by Hartenstein. That'll be his 4th foul.
To answer your question about the Chet Holmgren-Hartenstein pairing, I'm not sure Mark Daigneault even knows at this point. They just haven't really been able to experiment with it. Now, Chet Holmgren's shooting ability will allow you to have proper spacing when he plays offensively. But defensively, that's a different challenge to have 2 bigs on the floor in a league that spreads you out and shoots as many threes as they do.
They have yet to play together because, again, Holmgren got hurt after 10 games, and Hartenstein missed the first 15. O'Neal goes at Caruso, leans in, can't get it to fall. Richards bats it off the shot clock, so it's going to be OKC ball.
Mike, Legs, it's interesting you mentioned that about the size, because that clearly was an issue for them last season in that series against Dallas, where their bigs just kind of kept mauling them and pushing them around. By the way, a similar situation at NBA Cup where Milwaukee kind of bullied them with their bigs as well, Legs.
It's been a factor for them. It's the one thing. You don't point to much with this team. Mike, it's nitpicking, but they're protecting their own glass defensively, and then occasionally three-point shooting can dry up, but as I say that, they make another 3.
You know, Jalen Williams, a quiet night for him. The All-Star with 13 points now. And yet another turnover. Allen trying to knock it away from Williams. Gilgeous-Alexander, a 3. Fight for the rebound. Hartenstein back to SGA jumper. That's good. 48 points. Trying to get 50 for the 3rd time this season. And a 28-point lead for the Thunder. I have the feeling that's why he's out there right now, Legs.
I believe so as well. And look, this is just continuing this incredible run he's been on all season, but particularly lately. Mike, coming into tonight, 235 points in his last 205 minutes.
Allen trying to poke it away, looking to double team him. Tiptoeing along, now goes up, pulls up, jump shot. There it is. 50 points for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. 3rd time this season. And a standing ovation here in Oklahoma City. Richards on the slam. Impressive dunk for Nick Richards. Jalen Williams sneaks inside. Nice feed, and Isaiah Joe banks it home.
It's Shai treating these fans. That's really what this is about. You know, you get to see a special performance out of Shai, but Nick Richards just had maybe the most overlooked great dunk you're ever going to see because of the circumstances of the game and the performance by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Grayson Allen knocks down a 3 again. Phoenix playing without Kevin Durant, and for the first half they look terrific. But just then that domination started. Another beautiful pass. Isaiah Joe, another excellent cut. This is a clinic. And a timeout called by Mike Budenholzer. And Gilgeous-Alexander's night, I'm sure, will come to an end. 50 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists.
He's showing you all of it. Even when you run extra guys at him, 5-0 has a nice ring to it. Shea does it once again.
Wednesday presented by Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. 3 50-point games in the last 7. Just one of the more incredible stretches we've seen as Damian Lee misses that one. And both coaches kind of empty their benches now with 8 minutes remaining. Isaiah Joe, Jalen Williams, Kenrich Williams, Zhang back in, and Wiggins. Wiggins to Williams. Back shot won't go. Fight for the rebound. Williams gathers. Knocked out of his hands with a foul. Jalen Bridges, Bol, Colin Gillespie all have come on for the Phoenix Suns. And free throws for Williams. This happens on a regular basis, that, you know, the starters don't play a lot in the fourth quarter for OKC.
Yeah, this team is appropriately nicknamed, right? The Thunder, the way they roll in. I mean, you could feel it building, and then it's just this eruption of defense with a much faster pace offensively, and they put teams away.
The score in the second half is 65-27. So rest for the starters. Their work is done. Led by just an unguardable player right now. He is on an absolute tear. Damian Lee up top. Iguodala. Iguodala looking for an opening. Bridges couldn't handle it. And when you watch often the Thunder, when they have games like this, you watch the starters on the bench and how happy and supportive they are for any success of the guys that don't get a chance to play as much. There's a chemistry on this team. You know, you hear it all the time. And when you're 39-9, the chemistry's going to be pretty darn good. But this team, Legs, seems to have just, there's a camaraderie to it that you can see it with a naked eye. It's just, there's something special about how connected they are.
Very rare to capture. They've got incredible trust of one another that the right play will be made for them when it's their turn. And they've obviously got a connection through winning. That does bring a lot of this out, but it's the, you know, chicken or the egg question. I think first you have to establish this level of chemistry, and then great things can happen on the court. And they've really built something special here around a very special talent in Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Gillespie gets in and draws the foul. We're going over product. We'll shoot some free throws.
Colin Gillespie, good story here. So I actually coached against Colin Gillespie when I was coaching AAU in South Jersey. He played for the Northeast Sting in Philadelphia. And, you know, going into his senior year, didn't have a scholarship offer, was hoping to maybe get one from Delaware. Ends up getting one from Villanova after he goes nuts in the Philadelphia Catholic League his senior year. Not only does he get that scholarship from Villanova, Mike, he goes on to become the Big East Player of the Year. And now here he is in the NBA. So it's a lesson for all young players out there. Right? Sometimes you might be a little bit of a late bloomer, but if you put the work in and you believe in yourself, good things can happen to you.
He wasn't drafted after his 5 years of college. Was on the NCAA title team for Nova in 2018. Didn't play a heck of a lot, but was certainly a part of it. So a chance to get some action here in OKC. Wiggins coast to coast. Aaron Wiggins, who got the start tonight. A terrific game as well. 17 points and 6 rebounds. They are deep, they are talented, and they are connected.
They max out the sum of their parts. I mean, all of these guys are so comfortable with their role. And because of Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's greatness offensively, they can stay in their lane offensively. None of these guys are asked to do more than they're capable of because Shea takes care of all of that for them.
Alex Dukas, the rookie from St. Mary's from Australia, he's come into the game. Damian Lee can't get it to fall. It's good to see Damian Lee back out on the floor. Had that terrible knee injury in preseason last year and missed the entire season. And he continues to work his way back. He was a really good player off the bench prior to the injury.
Yeah, big moments in Golden State as well for those teams, and then came here and he really knows how to score.
And Jones lays it up and in. Dylan Jones, the rookie from Weber State. There you see the bench happy for their teammates. Nice little move there.
Really nice move on Bol Bol. That's a lot of length that once it starts moving in a certain direction, it's going to be difficult to reverse direction of your Bol Bol off the dribble, particularly when you just checked into the game and you're probably a little bit stiff right now. That's almost not fair to have to go guard on a closeout.
So Jones, who was the 26th pick in the draft after 4 years at Weber State, Monday played a season-high 25 minutes. Again, the blowout against Milwaukee. So just like tonight, they're getting some extra time. He had 9 rebounds in that game. He's played some G League. He was a really good player his senior year at Weber State. Turnover, throws ahead. Jones makes his move, kicks it back out. Flagler's in the game. Three-pointer won't go from Dukas. Gillespie thought about a three-pointer. Talk about extended time for the bench players. Bol Bol. You know, when Bol Bol has, we have a timeout call. When Bol Bol has played regular minutes, he's actually been quite productive. Unbelievable skill for a guy his size. All OKC tonight, though. Saturday matchup on ESPN, 4 Eastern, Lakers. And again, Luka Doncic, his expected debut with his new team. Host the Pacers game, also available on ESPN Plus and Disney Plus. It will be fascinating to see how this generational player now plays with arguably one of the greats of all time. No, it's not arguably that he's one of the greats. I don't like getting into that GOAT discussion. But LeBron James and Luka Doncic on the same team.
Still in shock. It was unimaginable that a player like Luka Doncic at 25 years old, having led a team to the finals, led another year to the conference finals, the most talented offensive player in the history of the franchise. And that's not a slight against Dirk Nowitzki, the great career he had, but just in terms of raw offensive talent, that's Luka. But the Mavs, in a lot of ways, Mike, I think they're betting against Luka because of things they have seen. And Luka Doncic now in LA with LeBron is going to be wearing a Lakers uniform for potentially a very long time. And let's see if, you know, what this does to fuel him and his desire to now prove Dallas wrong and win some championships eventually.
You know, it's one of the interesting aspects of this that have nothing to do with the on-court play of those two. Bol Bol lines up that three-pointer, knocks it down, was the reaction of the Mavericks fan base. And it just shows you how much the fans care, because they're absolutely devastated. They're angry, you know, as Jones draws the foul there. And again, it just shows you what players and teams, what it means to the fans.
Not only a great player, one of the most entertaining players in the league. And that's what, you know, your guaranteed investment was as a Mavericks fan. So I really understand this visceral reaction that has taken place in Dallas around this decision, and particularly when there was no talk of it. It just literally came overnight for so many people to wake up in Dallas to find out that this player, for a lot of whom, he will be their favorite player of all time. And he's no longer in a Mavericks uniform. So that's just a massive adjustment. Big adjustment for Luka as well.
Well, of course, the reaction from the players is Damian Lee, nice floater there. The reaction from the players, the shock from them, is something that I've never seen as we check in with George.
You know, it's interesting about the shock factor. Certainly, I spoke to Luka yesterday after his press conference, and you could tell he's still processing all of this. I asked him, you know, about what are you going to do about somewhere to live, and he said to me, he kind of shrugged his shoulders. He's like, I guess my family and I for a while we're going to be at the hotel and then kind of figure it out. And we forget kind of the human aspect of that. But remember, Brad Townsend, who is a local writer in Dallas, asked him point blank, would he have signed that extension in Dallas? And Luka didn't waver. He said that there was no indication that he would not have signed it. So certainly, to your point, Lex, this is something that is going to be in his craw, and he is going to be out to get those guys when he faces them in February, and probably again when he goes to Dallas in April.
The time will tell, obviously, with all trades, Mike. And look, make no mistake about it, Dallas got a great player in return in Anthony Davis.
And they're still going to be good.
And they're going to be very good, and they're going to be a factor in the West this year and for the next couple of years, the way that Nico Harrison put it, their window of opportunity. But that's not, to me, what it's about. It's about, the next decade and what Luka Doncic potentially could be.
Well, it'll be fun to see, like, how will Dallas play? Will they be at the same level? Will they get better? Will they get dramatically worse? Flagler knocks down that three. Same things with the Lakers. Will they get better? They lost their key defensive player, but now they get this all-NBA, perennial all-NBA player as Gillespie misses that one. It's just crazy stuff. And as George pointed out with the human factor, nice block shot from Iguodala. The human factor of, they make millions of dollars. They have this incredible life, but there's still family involved here, and your life is completely thrown, especially in season, to have to move to another place. It's I think sometimes we underestimate how difficult that can be, especially if you have a family. Move inside, shot blocked. Iguodala. Jones gets it back and banks it home as we're under 2 minutes to go. Well, if you're just tuning in, the Suns without Kevin Durant obviously had quite the challenge tonight, but they played one of their best halves of the season and led by 2 at halftime, shot 60% from the field. And then it was one of those tsunamis from the OKC Thunder. They outscored the Phoenix Suns 43-16 here in the third, led by that special talent, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. 50 points for the night. And just another dominant win for right now the best team in the NBA, as they'll improve to 40-9.
Yeah, this second half was, to me, the prototype for what the Thunder have been all season. And you could even go back to last year when we saw this. And last year, Mike, I think we all agreed they were the #1 seed in the West, but it felt like they're not quite ready yet because of the age factor of this team. And they get knocked out in the second round by Dallas, who ends up in the NBA Finals. This has a different feel about it. This is a team now that's gone through that. They've ripened, they've matured, they've added talent, so they're even deeper than they've been. And it's amazingly here, they're going to be 40-9. They haven't played at full strength all year.
And then you look at Phoenix, and when Phoenix is whole, and again, the key is when Durant and Booker play, this is a team to be reckoned with. Because when they're not together, they don't have that margin for error. As we said at the top, when those two have played together, they're 23-11 this year, 69-34 overall. And it appears that, although you never know the way things have gone, Gillespie, nice move on a pass from Bol Bol. It appears that Durant and Beal, and Booker was never involved in any trade rumors, that they're going to be with the Suns for this year.
The talent is there. It's a matter of just finding that on-court chemistry, getting better defensively. You do wonder about that, but I do want to get back to this last play. Did I just see a 7-1 player off the dribble throw a lob to a 6-1 player?
Yes, you did.
You don't see that very often, like at any level of basketball.
Well, Bol, he's got tremendous skill. So a minute to go in what will be the 40th victory of the season for OKC. Iguodala gets in and fouled by Kenrich Williams.
Yeah, this is not something you see every day. So take this one in. This is Bol Bol with the up fake, gets a defender, and you know what? Let's see the point guard under the rim for the lob. Now, not your typical dunk at the end of this, but that's okay. Gets the and one. Colin Gillespie gets himself in the scoring column.
And OKC here at home, they improved to 23-3. Their 3 home losses, 2 of them were to Dallas. And Doncic didn't play in either of those victories for the Mavericks here at OKC. The other loss, as Flagler hits another, the other loss was to the Golden State Warriors.
I believe there are 7 teams in the league playing above 600 basketball, and they are 14-3 against those teams. And they have held, in 13 of those wins, they've held teams to 101 points total on average. So it's not just that they beat up on, whoever, the mediocre bottom feeders, they've been doing this against the top teams as well.
And for the fans that have stayed throughout in what turned out to be a blowout in the third quarter, on their feet, they've outscored the Suns 79-46 here in the second half, led by as many as 38. And another victory in front of their loyal fan base. They're 40-9 now. 23-3, best record in the NBA. As Shai Gilgeous-Alexander presents another brilliant performance. 50 points in 34 minutes. As they head toward the All-Star break. Meanwhile, Phoenix have lost 3 in a row, and now 25-25 on the season. As we had, not only did he score at will and was unguardable, he wore a microphone for us tonight.
Appreciate it, bro. You see me? Like this, look. Appreciate y'all, boys. And in first quarter, I missed a lot of easy. Could have been 70. That's all right, though. All right, bet.
His third 50-point game of the season, and all in the last 7 games. And he's with George and the rest of his crew.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Mike Breen just mentioned third 50-point game in the last 7 games. When it's going like that, what's going through your mind?
Just trying to be aggressive, play basketball, take what the defense gives me. Trust my work at the end of the day. That's all you can really do. You can put in the work through the summertime, through the off days. And when you get out here, just trust it.
You guys blitzed them in that third quarter, never looked back. We saw you talking to your teammates. How have you grown from a leadership standpoint?
Yeah, just being comfortable in my own skin, not doing too much. Obviously, the team can hear from me in a lot of situations because I'm out there on the floor, but making sure that I open my mouth when it's time and when they need to hear from me.
And then lastly, I'm sure you've seen or heard, a lot of teams in the West, it's already difficult, have loaded up to try to compete against you guys. How do you feel about that as a team, that teams are trying to load up to go up against you guys?
Yeah, we just worry about ourselves. That's all we can do. We have a lot of growing to do between now and where we want to be at the end of June. And that's what we're focused on, trying to get better every day. And hopefully our season's long enough to get to summertime.
Shai, congratulations. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, Mike, back to you.
All right, George, they have one goal, and that's to win an NBA title. And that man on his way to another spectacular season and maybe an MVP season. Final score 140-109. Our producer, Ian Gruker, our director, Billy Proctor, our wonderful ESPN crew, of course, for Tim and George, Mike Breen saying thanks so much for watching. We say so long from Oklahoma City. Coming up next, SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt.